Hello and welcome to the introduction of the DataVault. The DataVault is a data storage and distribution solution specialized for media production. So what we have here is a typical situation that you have one location which is supposed to pull through a media production, like creating a computer-generated film. But in Europe, it's often the case that the money that is supposed to finance this is distributed to several locations. So in fact, there are plenty of these locations which need to interact with each other. So the way you want to do this is that you have a shared set of data, which is accessible by all the individual clients which are located at the respective locations. Like that, it will look. So, in fact, all these clients here, they're connected at the location to the respective server, so they can access everything within this area pretty fast. And this is what they want to do. They want to work fast. They don't want to care about slow connections that might exist between these individual locations. So what you want to do to share the data is, of course, not to connect the individual spots with each other or something like this, but you want to connect the main locations only with each other in a bidirectional connection, which looks like that. So now all the main spots can communicate to each other, but how does it work? How can you distribute the data to each other, and how can the DataVault do this? Well, the answer is that it uses a distributed version control system called Git in the background to do all the nasty work in a very mature and safe and fast fashion, which is important. It allows it to transfer the data very efficiently over these thin lines exactly when the change happens. So one question that still wasn't answered yet, probably many more, but one of them would be, how can you allow these people to work on these files in a safe manner? Because you have to imagine that we have a huge amount of data, a huge pile of data which is stored on the main server for access, but how can these individual guys safely access that data? Just imagine that all people access that data concurrently, and well, if they can write onto the same central location, then this would be a mess after a while, and things would go wrong. So the solution is that each of these individual clients, they have a partial checkout of that data. So they only have a tiny amount of that data as they need it. They will check out the portion of the files that they need for work and change it, and then they will check it back in, which is called publish. So once they've published the data to the server, it will be merged into the history of the common data and will be sent over the line to all the connected locations. So they will receive the change just in time as it happens. So as we have still several locations which share the same data set, of course it would be possible to try to work on the same file, for instance, on two different locations, which could result in a problem and in a conflict. So at least one guy would have work for nothing. So to prevent that, there is a log database which is centralized, in fact, so that you have to obtain a log before you can work on a file which is stored on a global or in a central location. So it's instantly shared among all of them. To sum it up, we have just-in-time synchronization of the data. We allow a local partial checkout of the working tree of the server to have exclusive access to the data. And of course, we prevent concurrent access, furthermore, using a log database. And all that is going to be the DataVault. It's based on Git and uses Git Python as a backend to interact with Git in a very fast and plumbing-like fashion. Thanks for watching.